YouTube introduction, where I grab the viewer's attention in a comical manner via some silly visual effects, or maybe audio effects. Alright, now that I'm annoyed with myself, let's get started. I realize this is a very strange thing to do, but I have a list on my notes app of fictional characters that don't deserve something bad happen to them. So anytime I watch a movie or a TV show and something bad happens to a good character, I update the list. Again, I know it's really weird. Anyway, I was on Twitter the other day. I don't know why I still do that to myself. And I saw a thread about this very subject. So I thought, hey, why don't you make a video about your little weird list? Couple quick notes. First, these are in no particular order except for the very last one, which I think stands out from the rest. And second, if you couldn't tell by the production of my previous videos and this one, I'm not very good at all the technical stuff, so all the clips are pulled directly from YouTube. That said, I apologize for the poor quality, but the alternative was either buying these 5 movies or downloading them illegally. And I'm not gonna do that. You want me to go to jail? You want me to go to prison for life? All right, first up, again, no particular order, is Dr. Melissa Reeves from the 1996 blockbuster hit Twister. Melissa's role in this movie is one that I can't figure out. She's the fiance of Bill, the ex-storm chaser who's now a TV weatherman, and all she does in this movie is just be a patient sweetheart to Bill and tries to get involved in conversations with his old storm chasing pals, including his soon-to-be ex-wife, Jo. The whole time, she's just kind of ignored by everyone. And then when she tries to chime in and be a part of the group, like to ask a question or make a comment, they kind of make fun of her. Oh, you don't know what an F3 tornado is? You stupid bitch. She's not mean, she's not manipulative, she just tags along with Bill to have Jo sign the divorce papers, which she's been dodging for months. And what she gets in return is overhearing that Bill still loves Jo over a CB radio in the middle of a tornado. Jo, when we split up, I realized 2 things. I love you and tornadoes, and I can't marry a tornado. Sorry, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Anyway, Melissa is so sweet. She even tells Bill he should get back together with Jo. There's no awkward argument, no big dramatic speech. She's just like, wow, my fiance loves his ex still. I guess I should go home now, as there's really nothing I can say or do about this. And that's what she does. There was no reason to have this woman ever on screen. We all could have known of her existence simply through being mentioned. Hey Bill, where's your fiance? Oh, she's back at home with the dogs. By the way, Jo, I think I still love you. There was just no reason to watch this woman's life crumble. But at least she got a delicious steak out of all this. Coming in at number 4, Donny from The Big Lebowski. Donny's a simple guy. He enjoys bowling and In-N-Out with, I'm assuming, are his only 2 friends, Walter and the dude. There's not much depth to him. He hardly gets any dialogue out before being told to shut the fuck up by Walter, to which he obliges. After an intense standoff in the parking lot with the nihilists, Donny tries to end the situation peacefully by giving up all the cash he has on him. But the inevitable fight ensues and all the violence proves too much for our poor Donny, having a heart attack right there in the parking lot of a bowling alley. But it gets even more tragic. After he's cremated, Walter and the dude go to scatter his ashes on a cliff by the ocean, but the wind blows back what's left of Donny back into the faces of his beloved friends. Killing off Donny was completely unnecessary. What they could have done was have one of the nihilists who had the sword slice Donny's foot, his toe comes off. That's funny, and it's a nice little addition to the whole plot with the missing toe. Cut to Walter and the dude visiting him in the hospital. They bring him some In-N-Out, and then they go bowling. The movie's over. Up next is a tough one. This is the beatdown of Johnny 5. Now, I don't know where or when I saw this movie exactly. I couldn't have been older than 6, but at some point I saw Short Circuit 2, a movie I remember nothing about other than the beating of Johnny 5, the childlike sentient robot whose existence is to... I don't even know. I really don't know what these movies were about. They were science fiction comedies, so it was probably Johnny Five coming to life somehow, cracking jokes or whatever, and some CEO bad guy wanted to turn him into a weapon, and the scientists who made him tried to protect him. I'm sure I'm close to the actual story. So anyway, in the only scene I remember, Johnny Five gets destroyed by some henchmen, and it is a rough one. They take an axe and a crowbar to him in broad daylight, mind you. Sparks are flying, he's leaking fluid and screaming for them not to kill him while they break his eye socket, smash his arm off, and chop at his battery and wiring until he's just smoking there on the sidewalk. Yeah, he's a robot, but he felt everything. I'm sure he was rebuilt and gets back at the guys in some comical fashion, like zapping their butts or making them slip around in like an oil slick. But watching him get a Goodfellas style beatdown was horrific and totally undeserved. Number 2, Jock 1 and 2. Jock 1 and 2 from Terminator 2. Just two handsome, beefy boys buying some beer at a liquor store, minding their own business when they hear a 12-year-old screaming for help that he's being kidnapped by a 6'2" biker. It's like 2 a.m. They're the only help that's nearby. So what do? They go over and help. They ask if John's okay, and instead of being like, oh, it's cool, this is my uncle, he forgot to take his medications, little Smuggy McSmuggerton says, take a hike, bozo, which angers Jock 1, which is reasonable, and he calls him a dipshit, an appropriate reply to being called a bozo. So what does John do? He has his newly trained Terminator grab this guy by the hair, lift him off the ground, and calls him a jock douchebag for trying to help him. Jock number 2 helps his friend and gets a broken hand in the process and misses a bullet to the face by inches. And yeah, technically John saved these guys, but a broken hand and hanging a foot off the ground by your hair was a pretty shitty time for trying to come to the rescue of a child pleading for help. And finally, at number 1, from the Jurassic Park franchise. And if you've seen all the Jurassic Parks and worlds, you probably know which moment I'm talking about. Which is saying a lot, because a lot happens in these 6 movies. That's right, the assistant. Zara, the assistant of Claire, a manager at Jurassic World, is assigned the task of guiding Claire's nephews around the park. She's not evil, she's not mean to the boys, she doesn't even get a chance to show what she's like because the boys ditch her right away and go off and do their own thing. Blah blah blah, Jurassic Park things happen.
Sir, the dinosaurs have escaped! Ugh, fuck! Again? How? Fuck!
And Zara, trying to protect the nephews while chaos is ensuing, is picked up by a pterodactyl, gripped by its talons, no doubt stabbing through her shoulders. She's picked up, flown into the air, dropped, probably thinking she's gonna land headfirst onto the pavement, and then another pterodactyl grabs her by the legs and drops her into a giant water tank. Is she safe in the water? Nope! Pterodactyls like to swim apparently, so they dive into the tank. One of them grabs her with its mouth, it's chomping on her, she's screaming underwater, and it takes her up for air, under the water again, grabbed by the shoulders, taken back into the sky, but then Godzilla's cousin pulls a free willy move, rising out of the water to eat the pterodactyl with Zara as a complimentary side dish. The most evil characters in this entire franchise didn't die a death anywhere close as bad as this one. Some of them you just see a splash of blood on the wall and a quick yell, but Zara's death took 14 minutes to happen, and the camera kept zooming in on her and following her around. I got to watch this in theaters, and as an audience member, I was so confused about how I was supposed to react to this whole scene, because she wasn't bad, like I said, so I wasn't stoked, I wasn't cheering, I just kind of watched and waited. I just was waiting for the scene to end, because it was taking about this long. Still going, wow. And again, she didn't do anything. Like, the worst thing that she did was be British? I don't know. Sorry if you're British. I'm just saying, like. Alright, that was it. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. I think this was the first time I've made 2 videos in 1 month. So, good job, Sam. Thanks again for all the support on here, or the podcast, or Instagram, or wherever you're watching me. Hopefully not through my blinds. Alright, that was good. Alright, see ya in the next video.